G'day guys, welcome to Scotch Down Under. Today, I've been shouted out by Cheech from Whisky Encore, links will be down in the description below, to do my best whiskey of 2021 that's open on my shelf. That's my WOW whiskey at the moment that I'm really enjoying. So the criteria is this has to be a whiskey that has to be open, on my shelf, below the shoulder, and doesn't matter about price and availability. It's just a WOW whiskey that you're really enjoying at the moment. So two other people I'm going to shout out to do this exact same video. One will be Lord Shane Long. He's yet to make his video, so he's up to make his first video this week. So get on to that, Shane. And the other person will be the Swags from the Mash Bill. So he has to do with this in the same video. Now, originally this was bourbons, but I'm going to split this into two. So I'm going to do my American whiskey / bourbons, and then I'll do scotches. Also, you can have two honourable mentions. So to start off, my first honourable mention will be Russell's. So Russell's Reserve. So this one is a Russell's Reserve store pick. Well, it's not actually a store pick, it's a private select. Then also the normal Russell's Reserve single barrel 10-year-old. So as you can tell, I'm kind of enjoying this stuff. So here in Australia, we can actually get some of the private select, and they come in this cool red box. But the regular one we get is just the normal Russell's 10 and the single barrel. Now, this stuff is, you know, if you've never tried Wild Turkey and this stuff, which is obviously Wild Turkey, but Eddie Russell's actual branded stuff, you definitely need to get some. And the best thing about this in Australia is we get it at the full 110, 750ml, so 110 proof, which is an actual win-win because a lot of whiskies here in Australia that come from America not actually bottled in America, they're bottled here, so they kind of get a little bit ruined. But this stuff is always as it should be, and it's bloody good stuff, and I highly recommend it. The next one is Balcones Brimstone. Now this stuff is not for everybody, but wow, this is brisket, smoked barbecue, licking a plate that's had everything cooked on it for the last 10 years. This is so delicious. Very unique, very different, and I'm a big fan of it. It's, as I said, it's not for everybody, but if you can get your hands on that and give it a go, it's worth the experience. And then my pick for 2021 that's on my bar at the moment is thanks to the awesome man JD Bourbon Approach, who hooked me up with this Lost Monarch. So Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. As you can tell, this is very rapidly disappeared. I've only had this for a couple of weeks and it has very quickly disappeared. This stuff is amazing. I'm a big fan of this. It comes from the West Coast. It's a blend of different whiskies. Wow, I can't get enough of it. I find it so approachable, so easy drinking, so easy to drink any time of the day, in any temperature. It's just a really good all-day sipper. And it's not super sweet, but it has a lot of rich cherry characteristics to it, and a lovely bit of sweetness that isn't sickly sweet. And it's just all around a great dram. Cheers. So pleasant. On to scotches. So the first honourable mention will be Smartin 14-year-old port finish. So this one, when I first got this, I was really excited to try it, and the nose just blew me away, and the finish blew me away, but the actual mid palate was really lacking. It was like a giant hole. So you'd have this awesome nose, you'd swallow it, and it'd be like meh, and then this finish would just carry on with lovely deep dark chocolates, raisins, sultanas, and it's absolutely delicious. But after I got below the shoulder, it really opened up through the mid palate, and the whole experience now is just delicious. So if you love port finish whiskies, or like port in general, this is one I can highly recommend. Even to the point where originally my Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben 12-year-old was my favourite port finish whiskey, Scotch, but now this is my number one. So the old Pinta Ribbon's been pushed down to number 2 spot. This stuff is, wow, an amazing flavour bomb of port deliciousness. Second honourable mention is the Benrique 21 Temporis. So this is 21-year-old peated whiskey. Absolutely delicious. It's a limited, it's not out anymore at the moment, which is a real shame because this stuff is amazing. Yeah, this was from the get-go really, really delicious. It opens up a little bit more once you get to the shoulder, but yeah, for a Highland peat, this stuff is absolutely well worth it. It's so delicious all day, every day. Now, for the number 1, again, thanking Mr. JD Bourbon Approach a million times over for this awesome bottle of whiskey. Now, when this first got announced, I was drooling over this. I really wanted to get my hands on this. Impossible to find here in Australia. I contemplated importing it in, but the price was going to be so prohibitive. So this is Glen Scotia Campbelltown 2020 Port Finish Festival release. Man, this stuff, ooh. Similar to this, the port on it is amazing, but you've got that typical Glen Scotia funk, but then you've got that lovely bit of peat smoke through it, and then this awesome 20 port finish all wrapped in through it. The nose on this is just divine. It's a beautiful ABV, you know, it's just, oh my god. This stuff is amazing. Every single time I sniff this, every single time I taste it, yeah, it's definitely a toe-curling dram. Absolutely in love with it, almost speechless for words. So I'm going to have a little sniff and have a little taste of this amazing God's liquid. It is so good. Wow. Yep. So good. I mean, there's nothing bad about this. It's got everything going for it. Port, peat, Campbelltown funk. It's just, wow. I could happily die right now. This stuff is so good. And on that note, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this little dram. Until next time, have a good one.